did they take the children? They killed the children?
God, I hope they didn't kill them. They took them on the ships with a couple of the women. Kind of looks around. He comes close to you, whispers in your ear, "The beautiful ones." As he steps away again, not trying to really make a bad situation any worse than it already is.
How many other people are around?
Groups of people. The village initially was probably like 20, 30, 40 families. Around what you can see around now, perhaps around 20 to 30 people are still left.
Okay.
At least half or over half of this village has been taken or killed.
Why don't you run around and cure wounds to a couple people that are really bad?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll say I can heal. I can help with the healing, and I can. Yeah, you can tell me more along as we go.
That would be appreciated.
Okay, so I'll get off the horse.
This is awkward, like.
Wait for it. There we go.
Yeah. And it's weird because the horse is like twice as tall as I am.
Yeah, it's weird looking.
Hey, how did you get up there? I don't know.
I got up there when I started moving, and I won't get down until I quit moving.
It's double. What are the things you sleep your feet in?
So it's like a little
stirrups?
step up.
Yeah, so it's like you strap 2 stirrups to it, or whatever. That way, so it's like a ladder.
Yeah.
That's
who's I think that could work. Yeah.
Okay, so I start healing people. How many people are like bad? How many people are like critical?
You take a quick look around with your medical skill.
So
roll medical
skill, which you don't have.
Oh, that's actually that's a wisdom roll actually. So
yeah, it's still a +3 at least.
14.
So you roll around, look around with your medical skill. A couple of people have been beaten up, and you can check them out around a little bit, but don't see any real reason that they would die of their injuries unless their internal injuries are way worse than you think they are.
Yeah, like if it's like a bruised rib, I probably wouldn't do anything. But if it's like cracked ribs and then like...
You go to the more obvious cases of, oh shit, I got hit by a sword, that sort of thing. And you can see around, you see 4 of those cases of people who could use like an actual healing spell, which would then help them to
or
heal.
Cure wounds. Just do 4 first level cure wounds.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys would only have probably like 8 health anyway.
Yeah.
If they're extremely healthy, that is.
Yeah, is that what you want me to do?
Yeah, if you want to do that.
Don't have. Yeah, I mean, it's...
I have no problem with it. 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's pretty good.
Alright. So you go around with these people and heal them. In the meantime, we go back north to the group who's waiting.
I'm keeping an eye on the ships, by the way.
Okay. Anyone else? Anything specific to say?
No, I'm just hanging out with the horse.
Hanging out with the horse. That sounds like a really fun thing to do.
As a druid, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So you hear everybody, I think. Yeah, everybody. Wow, interesting. All 4 of you, or all 3 of you up there, hear wrestling within the woods behind you. And as you look around, you can see 3 creatures walking up to you. They are big. They are upper torso is undressed. They have different styles of long, wild hair Either parts of their head are bald and they have like one big ponytail coming up, or they have kind of mohawk-like structures, or just long, droopy hair. They have tribal tattoos all over their very muscular, strong bodies. And when you get down to their midsection, the human stops. And it continues on in horse.
I was gonna say centaurs.
Yeah.
And their horse parts are lightly armored in some sort of very basic armored fashion. Also, the tribal tattoo signs continue on in the body of the horse body that they have. They have very clean furs, well kept. They look very healthy.
Is that insight to see like where you recognize them?
No,
Or
that
what
insight
it
is to
is?
see what their purpose is. Are they aggressive, or are they...
Oh, okay.
Like, was the whistle to alert us, or to signal their friendlies?
There wasn't a whistle.
I think you said there was a whistle.
Whistle. They moved through
rustle.
the.
It's a
Oh,
rustle.
rustle.
Yeah.
Okay, rustling. Yeah.
So they moved through the canopy.
Do they seem aggressive at all?
They are fully clad in weapons, so they.
That doesn't mean aggressive in my
No, they,
book.
Yeah,
they
that doesn't
carry
mean
their
it.
We are
spear
also.
and their sword.
Mhm.
And some of them, like you can see 2 or 3 of them. One of them standing on front with a spear, one of them on the side with a sword, and the other one a little bit to the back with a long bow. He has the long bow out and an arrow notched, but he hasn't it fully drawn.
And it's not like pointing at us.
It's not pointing
It's at the ground?
at you. It's
Okay.
It's pointing not necessarily to the ground, but more to the side.
Well, with
So
that
a
insight
little
check,
bit
do
to
they
the
look?
ground
Do
and a little bit.
do they seem wary? Like, what do I see from there?
What you see from your insight is that they do look wary. It is if they act the same as humans, you would say that these centaurs are here to investigate something.
Okay. What do I know about centaurs? Would I roll for that?
Nature checks, if you want to.
Nature
work.
history?
or history?
Either or.
Okay.
I think it's the same.
But with nature, you get a little bit more specifics.
It's the same regardless. So.
in
Then
terms
roll
of
nature in your case.
No, 19! By the way, I'm actually... Drake would be one of the things where centaurs would be cool, because he might want a centaur mount.
If they're cool with it.
Drake.
I know nothing.
All right, I'll start with Drake because it's funny. Then I'll go to Tyraneus.
Okay.
Drake.
I know that they wouldn't want it, but I
Yeah,
want
in
anyway.
your previous
What happened to?
in your youth, you always wanted a centaur mount. So you asked around, asked your aunt in this case, if she knew a lot about centaurs, and she gave you a book about centaurs, which generalized a couple of things. And one of the things that it stated specifically is
They don't
do
like
not
to be mounts.
Do not say to a centaur that he is a horse, for he will outright kill you for such an insult.
And as I say, hey, look, that's a. I'm just kidding.
Oh look, a horsey! And you catch an arrow to the head.
Immediately, it's like, oh, well.
Yeah, it's like
But that doesn't
Well, even
like,
with a critical
I
hit,
don't-
that wouldn't kill him.
What does that have to do with
He
mounts
just had an arrow
though?
in his
all
head.
right.
Do they hate being do I know that they hate being mounts, or just something that they wouldn't
They
be?
don't. That it started off with that. Don't call them horses. It also
Okay.
continued with, while there have been centaurs and centaur tribes that allowed others to ride on their backs in dire situations or in some cases of war because it would be helpful. Generally speaking, you shouldn't ask a centaur if he wants to allow you on your back.
Piggyback.
It would be. They described it as it would be some sort of humiliation to the centaur. The centaurs themselves see it as something that a proud centaur should not do, unless there are really dire circumstances that make it necessary. But even then, you'll probably get a stigma.
What are their children called?
The
Like,
children of
Because it wouldn't be a foal.
They basically their own word for children is basically child.
Okay.
So they use the same word as human races would.
So it doesn't mean it'd be impossible to. So that's kind of like the cultural thing. So getting a centaur, the best way to get a centaur mount, and I kind of hate to say it like this, but it would be to get a child slave, basically, that hasn't been a part of the actual centaur.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then of course you get the obvious. If a centaur sees a centaur riding on the back, and they would always speak about it. Always.
Mm-hmm. So just make sure you keep a good relationship in that case with your centaur.
And don't meet centaurs.
Anyway,
yeah. So no, we'll continue still because we're not done yet. Because you continuously keep adding more to the questions.
What? Server disconnection.
To him is what happened to me.
Did everyone get kicked?
No,
No.
you don't.
Nope.
And that happened to me exactly the same at the beginning of this game.
Well.
So it's mumble. There you go.
Okay.
Anyway, centaurs are tribal creatures. They live in what they call still herds. They are nomads, moving from place to place. They don't care about borders in any way, shape, or form. They are generally more found in forested areas, in grasslands. They not necessarily like deserts, but they will venture through them if needed. Sometimes, when with older centaurs, they if they cannot move, keep up with the herd, they will settle on a specific place. These centaurs keep to the wilds mostly, and they are generally considered as havens for especially the druids. They have a deep connection with nature in that. Tyraneus, you specifically know that centaurs are generally neutral good creatures. They live for the forest, and they speak Elvish and Sylvan.
Would I know that?
No, these are things that Ty knows. These are additional things.
I do believe that centaurs and elves actually have a quite high connection. Like centaurs will pretty much only trust elves, unless you want to retcon that.
Not necessarily. It's more like the centaurs like wood elves a little bit more because they're closer to them in what they believe in, like nature is good. High elves are more cocky, and high elves consider themselves to be better than any creature on the planet, including centaurs. And centaurs really don't like that. Like most other races, really. You don't want to be told by some cocky little elf that your race is less good than his race, because he says so.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So they're approaching us right now?
They are, they were approaching you. They have stopped since you noticed them, and they have noticed you as well.
Okay, I bow and say, give greetings in Sylvan language.
Yeah, so we can't understand it.
The centaur in front.
You know, we speak Elvish
a little bit. And he says, "Greetings, human."
What? He's not human.
I'm not human.
It was like human, like a little bit of a question mark behind it.
You can't tell that I'm.
Yeah, like the pointy ears and the white hair and the dead giveaway.
He's a little bit like iffy. Perhaps he hasn't seen that many creatures.
Yeah, okay.
He looks at you. He says, in Sylvan, "What is your business here?"
Well, we're traveling on our way to Abdera, a town to the southwest of us, and we noticed an attack happening in the Fisher village. One of our members has gone down to see if they could render any assistance while we wait up here.
So that is what the smoke came from.
Yes, that's what drew us here as well.
Any news you have on it? The creatures that attacked, that sort of thing?
There were humans, it appeared, on 5 ships that have sailed off.
So they are no longer any threat to the forest?
At this moment, it doesn't appear so.
He looks around at the two of you. And he then turns back to you, Ty, and he says, okay, then we'll leave in peace. Farewell.
I say farewell and bow again.
So,
Bows
Wrath,
back and moves.
Sylvan is the old language of elves?
Sylvan is not the old language of elves. In this world, Sylvan is more of a sub-language of elves. It is older, but not the oldest version of elves.
Okay.
Elvish.
So would I recognize any of that?
Not really. The word
kind of
use
like,
is
I don't-
different.
Yeah, it's kind of like me listening to the Spanish no. I got no, but I don't know the context.
Yeah. So yeah, there's nothing really that you got out of this which would make a coherent story. There are like a couple of the words, the general pronoun
Would I recognize
words
it
like
as Sylvan?
D or A or something like that. You can recognize those, but a lot of the other words, they're just pronounced differently, or they're entire different words completely. And with Elvish, it is already kind of difficult. It's kind of like Chinese in that sort of way that the pronunciation of something can change the entire sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I after they've gone off a little ways, I asked Ty and I said, "Do they only speak Sylvan?"
No, they do speak other languages, but to honor them, it's best to speak in Sylvan. They were just here inquiring about the smoke, and once they found out what was going on, they went on their way.
Okay, but you could honor us by letting us know what you're talking about, like while you're talking about it. So, like speaking Elvish.
But then that wouldn't honor them, would it?
Well, you could say greetings in Sylvan and then speak in Elvish. I'm just uncomfortable with having a conversation right in front of me against a potentially hostile force and not knowing anything about what is being said.
Well, they're starting to go off now. Just saying.
Everything's well that ends. All's well that ends well, but you know, from a militaristic standpoint, not having that kind of information is can be a death sentence.
You might want to learn Sylvan then.
Do I roll for rolling my eyes?
I think it's pretty obvious that you're rolling your eyes.
I got stuck.
It's like stuck halfway through and can't come back. You're blinded now.
Anyway, so we had this whole kind of encounter down to Gumby.
Did I steal anything valuable?
Did you actually go down?
You just
Yes.
tried to steal from a bunch of people who just literally got everything robbed.
Alright.
Who don't have anything
What
to
was,
begin
what
with.
was his stealth roll? Hold on, what was his stealth roll?
I think it was pretty good.
It was a-
no.
it was
Like
I
a
think it-
12.
It was a 12. I saw him
Oh,
starting to
sorry.
walk off, and
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
did see so
I'm like,
him walk off.
I would have seen him starting to like trying to sneak off. I go, Dolos, what are you doing?
Sneaking off? What does it look like I'm doing?
Why?
Doing rogue stuff.
Yeah, no, you stay here.
So I saw also the centaurs, I guess.
Yeah, apparently you did, unless you tried to stealth again.
Nah, I
I'd
don't
be
think
keeping
they
my
have
eye
much.
on him.
Then he has advantage on your. Then you would have advantage on perception, which I don't know.
Which doesn't really help, I think, if I rolled
he actually
again.
rolls decently.
Well, look.
Give Golf like a +10, and he's looking straight at him.
No, he has advantage because of it, but
It's technically very possible for me to do this.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
go ahead. Just
Oh, what?
so you
Oh.
did indeed.
Get
Kept your eye on him.
Hold
so
on.
he couldn't get away.
Do. Yep. That's a firebolt right at well. It would have. Well, actually, probably not. Because I was saying, at your feet. Is he on the road right now? Because if he's on the road, there's something flammable. I would have firebolted right at his feet.
It's probably more around the cart.
Okay,
Yeah.
if there's nothing flammable near him, I would have
cart.
firebolted.
The cart and the
Well,
horses.
like at his feet. It's a firebolt. It's not like a big explosion.
The
It's
cart
like a
is
tiny.
at his feet.
Yep, I'm on the cart.
No, but you're trying to sneak off.
Yeah, by going
So
over
you would
the
have
cart.
started to sneak. You would have started to sneak. So I shoot a firebolt below the cart, right at your feet. So it's just this poof right behind you. Doesn't hit you.
Well, better. Otherwise, I'm dead.
Okay, let's just see what type of damage that would have been. Firebolt would have been 20.
Isn't that a double crit?
No,
Or
his
no,
AC is
25
16.
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, just
Yeah,
barely.
it would have been a 22. It would have been 22 damage.
Oh, okay, that doesn't kill me.
But it wouldn't have hit you anyway, so because I wasn't
No.
aiming for you, and I critted,
Alright.
so I hit exactly where I wanted to. So what do? I firebolt right at your feet.
I jump.
Jump back,
Jump
grab his
back, yeah.
arrow, shoot it through your face, and runs off.
you like stealthily get off the cart, boom, and then it's like whoop, right back to where you were.
Like, I was about to put my foot outside, and then you went a poof, and I put it back.
So you're like, dang, I thought I was being stealthy too, and he still saw me. Okay, so that's
Alright.
kind of the gist of what happens. Back
And
to Gumby.
Gumby, you have healed a couple of the people. The village is still pretty bad in pretty bad shape, but at least people won't necessarily die right now from like wounds any more than have already died.
Okay, so I'll ask him about the attackers. Like, how many were there? How many of them were there? And said it's been many
He said-
decades since
he says-
something like this has happened.
He
So.
says 5 ships showed up, followed by 2 of the ships actually breaking and landing on the shores. People ran out, started grabbing people, started grabbing our stuff, and then it just hits him. It's like not only did they took like the people,
They took
the
all
village,
goods.
which is bad enough, but they also took all of the supplies which they used to keep themselves alive. The fishing nets, baits, also the caught fish, food supplies or food stores, that sort of thing. And at that point, when that hits him, it's too much for him as well, and he just sits down and stares off.
No crying.
No real crying.
It's
but
kind of like he's so depressed that crying.
it just doesn't
isn't-
cut it anymore.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
snap.
he's still in the shock phase instead
Mhm.
of like the actual like it's sunk in phase.
I don't know. It depends on how you handle grief.
Yeah, it depends from person to person.
Are you gonna leave him
Well-
some money? Or are you gonna?
Well,
Make
I
Gumby, make one more
Yeah.
quick perception check. As when you moved down,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the ships were moving away. Is that a perception?
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing that you kind of remembered from the ships is something that you saw on the sails themselves.
Like a logo?
Could any of us have seen that?
Perhaps. Roll a check.
Okay.
Single perception.
Because, well, do I get advantage because I was saying I'm keeping an eye on the ships? I specifically stated that.
I did 19, so I probably remember.
18.
Nice.
Oh, I did the best?
That's kind of incredible,
Okay.
not gonna
That's
lie.
amazing.
Amazing!
Amazing. Oh my god. No, and? Do
So
we
what
see
you
it?
see on the sides and mostly on the sails of the ships, you have seen a crescent moon with waves coming from it on the sides. So you see a crescent moon, and below them there are a couple of waves. It is. You also saw on one of the other ships a round emblem, and all that it had was a single wave in the middle of it.
Do I recognize it at all? It's like a family crest.
Same for me.
Why would you put a family crest on ships that is raiding villages?
Make a history check
All of us?
if you want to think more about it. Then yes, if not,
Okay.
Sure.
No, 19!
Like me too, Raptor now.
9.
22, 19.
I don't.
so Gumby, it has nothing really to do with anything in history that you have seen, but it does tick off something else for you. Make a religion check.
Ooh.
Do I get advantage?
Devil worshippers! Oh god, tell me that he's like...
You have religion, right?
Right, but then since I
That's the
remember
reason
from
you can
history-
do it.
Oh, okay.
If you didn't have,
19.
No, he doesn't. He's not proficient with religion.
do you
I'm
have
not
prof-
proficient.
You're
I'm
not
not
proficient,
proficient
with
with
religion. Okay.
Oh, actually,
So-
yes, I am.
So it's actually plus 6.
No, it's an intelligence roll.
Oh, it is! Which is kind
Which
of
you're bad
weird.
at.
Yeah.
All right. It's probably more of a learning thing that you learned about religion.
Fair
So
enough.
then intelligence kind of makes sense.
There should be like a faith check then. Anyway,
That's like
go ahead.
wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should
So these two signs, you have seen them before. They are definitely somewhat religious, but you cannot be specific. In your mind, they shouldn't be seen separate, but should be seen together. But further than that, you don't necessarily come. You do, however, remind this sign well enough. At least I hope for you, if you wrote it down.
Yeah, write it down so you can investigate it when we reach a city.
Yeah, that you can probably investigate it.
be. Okay, so it's a crescent moon with a single wave in the middle?
No, 3 waves underneath the moon, right?
Oh, okay.
Right, Wrath?
You remember
That's
what
what he
you
said.
remember.
Yeah, and then there was another one with just like a
A circle with a wave in it.
something
Right.
like that. Okay. You gonna give him any money?
Yeah, I will. I say, like, I'm so sorry like, for your loss. Is there anything that I can do? I just happen to have a fishing net on me.
Do you
I can
really?
give you that and get, yes.
He actually looks at you and he says that would help a lot. A lot more than you think.
Wow, where'd you get a fishing net from?
Good question.
Yeah.
He actually makes them.
Did it come from
Nice
with your
with that.
backpack?
No, somewhere else actually. So how much, like, what would you say the value of the items that were stolen would be equal to? I know there's no
He
price on
literally
the
says
people.
immeasurable. For us,
I know there's no.
it's our
no,
life, really.
Well, I know there's no cost on the people that you lost. There's nothing I can do about that. But what about the equipment, the fishing nets, and the whatever?
To us, he again says to us, they are unimaginably valuable. It's our entire lives depend on them. We would have to make them
Well-
again or get them from somewhere, and that would take time and money and
Well,
You
food
could
to
mend
get-
the broken ones.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, that's true. If they didn't take them but only broke, did they take them or break them?
They
why,
took them.
Why would they need to take fishing equipment? That seems really weird.
It does.
Yeah, if your goal is...
If you go into a city, in a village, and you start raiding, these
You
fishing
don't take
equipment
chairs and tables.
Yeah, you don't take...
No, but fishing equipment is kind of difficult to make. So it's like, well, it's not that weird that you would try and take it.
But what about the broken ones? Because if you're fishing, you obviously have quite a few that are broken or not used.
Well, there may be a couple of broken ones, yes.
Okay, well,
That's
I
what
can
they're
help.
like-
broken, so
but
they
just
have to
like,
be repaired.
ballpark, how much?
To replace, how much would it cost monetarily?
Yeah.
He really cannot say.
So here's
like-
the thing.
Does one
Tell him
fishing
to
net
lead
cost?
you to any remaining fishing equipment that is broken, so you can mend it, and then leave him 100 or 200 gold.
Yeah, something like that. Sure. Okay. Yes. So I asked him to do that. Can you lead me to I can help repair some fishing nets that may be broken.
He
Can you leave me?
nods.
I'm
And I've
preoccupied.
seen a little bit of hope again. He moves to one of the side buildings.
I'll be right
that-
back, guys.
Alright.
He moves to one of the side buildings, a little bit to the side of the village, and he kind of sighs in relief. He says, "Well, at least it didn't burn it down." And he moves in there, and there you can see basic fishing lines. Most of them broken, really. He says, "This is our basic fishing lines, hennep, that sort of thing." He then remembers something, looks back out, and he's extremely happy that he points to the side. He says, the boats are still there. They didn't do anything against the boats. He says, we now, since the boats are still here, basic fixing equipment, and we can rebuild more or less. He then shows you like a couple of fishing nets that are broken. You mend those that can be mended. Some of them cannot be mended because they are too broken.
Really? How much is too broken?
Your mending can only do like very small tears and very small things.
As long as the break or tear is no larger than 1 foot in any dimension.
Yeah, but some of them have like pretty big holes in them.
Yeah,
even for
if that's
fishing
the
nets,
case,
so.
then
Some of them are not. You cannot mend, and a couple of them you kind of have to spend like half an hour mending very small things.
No. It takes 1 minute.
Yeah, for each mending to do, but
I guess that's true.
it's
So if
it's very
there's a
specific.
net that
in
requires multiple ones, then okay.
So you really have to go around, and you are busy with the mending part for like 45 minutes until you are finished and have done all the mending you could really do. You even mended a couple of ropes, that sort of thing, because hey, they were there.
Okay. After it's done, I asked, is there anything else I can do?
You have done a lot for us already. I think we can at least make sure we stay alive if we can come over the shock.
Alright, Wrath, out of game question. How much will 10 gold buy? Like,
10 gold?
how much of a dent will that make in what they need?
10 gold for a fishing village is actually not a small sum, I'd say.
No.
So a fishing tackle itself costs 1 gold. Grappling hooks cost 2 gold. You have like hammers and things for gold. Ropes. Where is rope? 1 gold. Hand rope for 50 feet is also gold.
I'd say 25 to 50 gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 to 50 gold, and they'll basically be able to get the supplies they need. As I said, the ships are still there, so they can technically go out and fish today to make sure that they have something to eat today.
Okay.
The question now becomes, would these villages remain in this village in its very, very weakened state. Because only like older men, older women are still there, and very young children. So there
And the
isn't,
men, right?
Well, give them 50
A
gold and let
couple
them
of
do
men,
what they
yeah.
want.
but there isn't as much of a workforce there, because a decent amount of the men are now wounded or killed.